guys, Liam here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome back to another episode of MetroMania, the ongoing 16 Pokemon Metronome-only double battle tournament. The best one on YouTube, mate. It's so great. It's wonderful. There are others out there and they're pretty good, but this one's the best one. If you're a fan of MetroMania and you're ready for more, make sure you hit that like button. Let's go for 1,000 likes if we can. And of course, subscribe if you're new so you never miss an episode. This series is getting close to the end, but season 10 is right around the corner. And as always, don't forget, I forgot to shake up before I started recording. I could record another take, but I'm not gonna. To use code ACE for money off G Fuel. G Fuel's wonderful. This is blue ice. And oh, a fresh cup of blue ice. Yes, please. Code ACE is what you need. Code ACE is it just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Code ACE, Code ACE. You'll never forget Code ACE when you order G Fuel. Code ACE. But I know why you're here. You're here because it's semi-final time. Oh baby, the quarterfinals are over. Semi-finals underway. It is time to begin the semi-finals. Say semi-finals again. I dare you. Semi-final time. Here we go. Let's have a look at the bloody brackets.
In the last of our quarterfinals, Pangoro, the undefeated Pangoro, reigns supreme against Conkeldurr, 3-0 once again. Pangoro has not taken a single fall in all of its time in Metromania, which is kind of scary. So Pangoro moves on. Good luck to Sirfetch'd next week for semi-final 2. Of course, this week is semi-final 1. Toxicroak is taking on Lucario for a place in our final. So here we go, Toxicroak versus Lucario. Semi-final 1 of Metromania Season 9 is well underway. Let's get things going. The semi-finals are going to be absolutely wonderful. I mean, they always are in Metromania. Can you ever go wrong with Metromania? You can't. That's why you come here for your Metro Battle content, because it's the best on bloody YouTube. Shiny Lucario starting things off with Vice Grip, spelt wrong in my opinion. On to Shiny Toxicroak for a good chunk of damage there. Now, Toxicroak and Lucario's stat layouts are kind of similar, but Lucario does have the edge with increased defenses, increased offensive prowess. So Toxicroak's got a bit of an uphill battle to go. Here we see Gastro Acid from regular Toxicroak onto the shiny Lucario there. Gonna suppress its ability, so no Justified. I believe it's Justified is the hidden ability, isn't it? And we see Icicle Crash, not very effective, coming from shiny Toxicroak onto which of the Lucario here? Onto the regular Lucario. Decent chunk of damage though for a not very effective hit. Let's not knock it. Any damage is better than no damage, especially if you're on the side with a slight disadvantage in terms of stats. Over to regular Lucario to start off the next turn, though. Turn 2 is Avalanche. I guess turnabout's fair play. You're going to go for an Ice-type move. Big chunk of damage, but not quite as much damage as if Lucario would have been the slower. So could have done with maybe having a Trick Room up or something like that. We see Strength coming out from shiny Lucario onto doubling into the shiny Toxicroak there. Trying to take one of these Toxicroak out of contention, leaving the other as effectively a sitting duck, or a sitting frog in this case. We see Astonish from the regular Toxicroak there onto regular Lucario. Not a great deal of damage. Once again, resisted. Shiny Toxicroak follows up with Shadow Claw. That will not be resisted by Lucario. Lucario, of course, being a steel type, has loads and loads and loads of resistances. Ghost type moves are not one of those resistances, though. So it does bring it down to less than half its max HP as it gets ready to fire back with a Brick Break, which won't be very effective on Toxicroak. Toxicroak very much loves resisting fighting type moves, but as it was stabbed, it still did a fair bit of damage, to be honest. We see shiny Lucario going for a Surf. That's going to hit everybody on the field, including its own partner. So how wise will this be? Big damage. Takes out shiny Toxicroak, almost takes out its own partner. Its own partner now in the danger zone. And now Toxicroak needs to try and retaliate, I guess, in some way or form. Goes for Uproar, locking itself into not very effective moves for the next, like, at least 3 turns. But does take down regular Lucario. So let's not count this Toxicroak out too quickly. Already, we're down to 1 apiece. We've got 1 Toxicroak versus 1 Lucario, but that Lucario does have a lot of HP since it's at maximum right now. So shiny Lucario looking to retaliate with Mega Kick. Now that will do some significant damage to that Toxicroak, putting it in the danger zone. That's like 3 hit points. My word. There's that Uproar continuing. It's not going to do much to shiny Lucario, though. You got to hope that Uproar ends soon. Otherwise, Toxicroak could be losing our first round. So Lucario, the shiny Lucario is what I'm trying to say, goes for Grassy Terrain, which will heal its opponent a little bit. So I don't know how wise that is. Maybe that's why I got so tongue-tied, because such a shocking display was being carried out by shiny Lucario. There's the Uproar continuing from the Toxicroak there onto shiny Lucario, who does get healed a little bit by the Grassy Terrain, as does its opponent, our lovely good friend Toxicroak, who has now calmed down, so no more Uproar. So Lucario probably could have done with actually attacking that round. But let's see what Lucario has in mind now. It's going to go for electric terrain. So it wasn't happy with the grassy terrain. Now it's going for electric terrain. I mean, it does suit your color scheme a little bit better. You do look a bit like Zeraora in that. Maybe that's Lucario's Zeraora cosplay, its shiny version. And now Toxicroak has a chance to recover or to retaliate. It's going to go for Gunk Shot, which doesn't affect Lucario. That's a big mistake, but Lucario knows Toxicroak could have gone for like a fire type move or something there, and it could have been the end of Lucario, or a stab fighting type move. We see Lucario going for Fly. It's going to hide up in the sky so it won't be hit by Toxicroak this turn, unless it uses one of those super special moves that hits opponents in the semi-invulnerable turn of Fly. We see Tailwind from Toxicroak, which is a really bad move, because if you're now faster than Lucario, that means you move before Lucario finishes the Fly. So I don't think that was too wise by Toxicroak, especially when Fly is going to be super effective. Toxicroak goes for Heal Bell. No status conditions, that's going to fail. Lucario is going to go for Fly. And it's going to land it, and that's going to be enough to take down Toxicroak. Round 1 goes to Lucario. So it is 1-0. Lucario 1, Toxicroak 0. Toxicroak needs to fight back now. It really needs to do something. This is for a place in the final. There is no messing around here. This is very, very important to both these teams, and if Toxicroak doesn't do something now, it's going to lose its place in the final. Lucario starts things off with a Bulldoze, which is going to be super effective on everybody on the field and drop everybody's speed by 1 stage apiece. Did about the same amount of damage percentage-wise from the looks of it to both its partner, Shiny Lucario, and both the Toxicroak on the Toxicroak side. So not the wisest of choices there, but get some heavy damage off on the opponents early, I suppose, is the way they're looking at it. We see Shiny Lucario following up with Electro Ball. Again, it's trying to be an electric type. It's trying to be Zeraora. And we see Shiny Toxicroak take a decent chunk of damage there. It's not looking good for the Toxicroak team right now. They need to pull something out the bag. Crush Claw from Shiny Toxicroak onto the Shiny Lucario there for not a great deal of damage there. And now over to regular Toxicroak to see if it's got some kind of follow-up. And it's going to go for Fairy Wind, which will be neutral on the fighting and steel type Lucario. Didn't do a great deal of damage though there. So the Toxicroak need to go back to the well a bit. They need to try and find something that they can do to overcome these Lucario, really, because they seem to be on the ball. We see Smog Attack from Lucario. That's not going to be very effective as you're doing it on a poison type. And of course, it won't poison them either. Over to Shiny Lucario now, who has a chance at a follow-up, who's going to go for Liquidation, which does have the opportunity to drop the defense of the Toxicroak it lands on, but it won't need to because it's taken down Shiny Toxicroak there. Now we're down to just 1 Toxicroak and 2 Lucario, which cannot be a good thing for the Toxicroak team. We see Horn Attack. That's not going to be very effective from the regular Toxicroak there onto regular Lucario. Not a great deal of damage at all. It's now going to be over to the Lucario team. I nearly said Ludicolo. What era am I living in? It's over to the Lucario team to follow up. Going for Discharge, though. Regular Lucario. Bad move. It's going to hit your partner Pokemon. Is it going to get the paralysis? Doesn't get the paralysis on anybody. That's very, very lucky. Had a chance of paralyzing your own partner there. We see Topsy-Turvy coming out from Shiny Lucario there. So it's going to turn all the stat changes for Toxicroak upside down. I'm trying to think of what stat changes it's had, to be honest. I don't know if it's had any this round. We see a super effective Fire Spin, though, from regular Toxicroak onto Shiny Lucario. Takes it out. Don't even worry about the Fire Spin damage at the end of the turn because it does not matter. Shiny Lucario is gone. And now we have, once again, 1 Toxicroak, regular Toxicroak once again, against one of the Lucario team. What's going to happen here? Toxicroak is geared up and ready and is going to go for Steel Wing onto that regular Lucario there. Not a great deal of damage. Lucario has a chance for a follow-up now. What is it going to do? Lucario is going to go for Disable and disable Toxicroak's Metronome, which really puts Toxicroak in a bad position here because now Toxicroak has to struggle, and it's probably going to struggle itself to death, which is really unfortunate for Toxicroak. There's the struggle. And is it enough to take it down? It puts it in the danger zone. There is no way Toxicroak can win unless Lucario, like, explodes or something at this point. Lucario is going to go for Blizzard. It is going to land. Is that enough to take Toxicroak out of this tournament? It is. Toxicroak is out. It now has to fight in the 3rd round for its pride. The Lucario team coming out looking very, very confident there since they know they've secured a place in the final of Season 9. So one of our finalists is going to be Lucario. Now, Toxicroak have had a fantastic run in Metromania Season 9 so far. Are they going to leave with their pride intact, though? That's important. Mienshao managed to do it. We see Bone Rush from regular Lucario. We get the first hit there. We get the second hit as well. Lucario is showing no mercy with a third hit with that Bone Rush. We're getting a fourth as well. Oh my word. Are we going to get 5? No. We're going to get 4 hits. But already, regular Toxicroak on the ropes over to shiny Lucario. This has been an absolute clinic by Lucario. Strength Sap going to reduce the attack stat of shiny Toxicroak there by 1 stage. And of course, it would restore the HP of shiny Lucario, but its HP is full. We see Aromatherapy. That's a mistake from regular Toxicroak there. Over to shiny Toxicroak. See what it can do. It's going to go for Blizzard, which is the move that knocked it out of the competition. It's avoided by 1 Lucario, but does damage the regular Lucario for a little bit and does get the freeze, though. So it gives an opportunity for the Toxicroak team to try and capitalize in this round. They know they're not going to the final. That dream has long since gone, but they can still leave with their heads held high if they win this round. If you're a Toxicroak fan, make sure you are cheering for them. Make sure you are showing them love even in defeat. We see Aromatherapy is going to remove the ice, the freeze from that regular Lucario there, so that's how you use Aromatherapy, lads. We see Phantom Force from shiny Toxicroak, who's going to disappear from the field so it can't be attacked, and then it will reappear at some point during the next turn. We see regular Toxicroak, though, who is kind of out on the field on its own right now. Going to go for a track. It does not affect the opposing Lucario. Clearly went for the same gender there. And that just doesn't work in Pokemon. It's a game mechanic. Don't take it too seriously. You know, don't take offense to it because it's not like that. And we see Poison Fang from the regular Lucario there, dealing a little bit of chip damage there to the regular Toxicroak. Shiny Lucario looking to follow up as well. What will it do? It's going to go for Swagger. It's going to increase the attack stat by 2 stages of that regular Toxicroak there, and of course confuse it at the same time, hoping it will hit itself in confusion with that extra bit of firepower. We see Phantom Force doing a tiny little bit of damage there. Of course, the attack reduction really showing on the shiny Toxicroak there. Regular Toxicroak hits itself in confusion. Down it goes. Now it's just shiny Toxicroak fighting for pride. Is it going to be able to overcome these 2 Lucario who have been so effective? They've been so good at working together, like with the removing the freeze, with the Aromatherapy, just beautiful plays, setting each other up. We see Knockoff from the opposing Lucario, which means that is going to knock off the Leper Berry of shiny Toxicroak, which means shiny Toxicroak is more likely to run out of PP for its Metronome move. We see shiny Lucario, who's going to go for Air Slash, which will be super effective and could make the Toxicroak flinch. Massive damage. 27 hit points left for shiny Toxicroak there. What is shiny Toxicroak going to do as potentially its last move? Sacred Sword. That's how you do it. Super effective and stab, but not quite enough to take down shiny Lucario there. One last ditch show of strength from Toxicroak as it gets ready to be taken down, surely, by the amazing duo of Lucario and shiny Lucario. Although shiny Lucario goes for Electric Terrain once again. Really loving this Electric Terrain. Maybe it's a strategy. Maybe it's trying to ensure that Toxicroak can't rest and restore its HP. We've seen stranger things happen in Metromania. And now it's over to regular Lucario, who's going to go for Bite, which shouldn't do much damage. But how much is a little bit? That's good. That's good. Shiny Toxicroak still living on 9 hit points. We know Bite's not very effective. We see Fake Out failed because it's not the first turn. That's unfortunate for Toxicroak. Toxicroak a sitting duck right now against these 2 Lucario. And what is regular Lucario going to do? It's going to go for Pollen Puff. It's really loving these not very effective moves, isn't it? Is it enough, though? It takes down Toxicroak. It's a clean sweep for Lucario. 3-0. And your first finalist is Lucario. Well done to the Lucario team for a 3-0 victory. They are not easy to come by, although we've had a lot of them in Metromania. So there we see our first finalist. Tune in next week because Sirfetch'd is going to take on the undefeated Pangoro for the 2nd place in our final.
So that'll do it for another episode of Metromania. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to support the channel, jump over to Twitch, twitch.tv/AceTrainLiam. We do live streams like 5 days a week. It's great. And also use code AceMoney off G Fuel. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.